Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's Trade of the Day, Friday morning, afternoon, Saturday morning edition, wherever you are. And it's been an interesting week in crypto. The Ethereum ETF was rumored to be being considered by the SEC. They did accept one form, a 19BF or something like that, from the institutions who are interested in filing an Ethereum ETF. There's still one form to go, so it's not all the way through. That might explain why we had some craziness in Ethereum's price. Let's go to the chart. We'll start with Ethereum's chart. We did go over this in some detail on Monday, so I'll try to start there. Okay, should be seeing my Ethereum hour chart.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so here's a big pump on Monday. We discussed that a lot on Monday's show, but we can see quite a bit of up and down movement throughout the days. Early on Thursday, we had a big pump up to 39.50 almost. I thought it was going to break 4,000, but it didn't. It crashed hard all the way down to about 3,500 and shot back up. And it's mostly gone, it's dipped a little and gone sideways since then. You know, we're at 37 and change right now. So if the Ethereum ETF, even though it's a different animal than Bitcoin, if it follows generally the trend of Bitcoin, we'll have a 10 to 15% dip after the announcement until it starts picking up steam again. But since the Ethereum ETF has another stage to go through, it probably won't be trading till much later this year, maybe around the fall or winter. So that's what I've gleaned so far from cruising Twitter for a couple days. Any comments or questions about Ethereum before we check out Bitcoin? Okay, so Bitcoin had a bit of a ride as well. Got the hour chart. So it pumped on Monday along with Ethereum, broke 71, almost 72K, then dropped hard all the way down to 66, and then working its way back up into the 68s. And you can see we're above the EMAs on the hour chart. Let's go to the day chart for Bitcoin. Yeah, we're above the day EMAs as well, 20, 50, and 200. And just kind of going sideways. I was hoping 70K would be support, but it doesn't look like it yet. Heard different reports as to the extent of retail participation in the Bitcoin market. So until that really pumps, we may be seeing this kind of sideways action for a while. Bouncing between say 65 and 72. That might be the new range for the next few weeks. Okay, any questions or comments about Bitcoin? And then any wild speculation as to the next ETF? I hear Solana. I saw a post from somebody I respect saying it could be DOT, could be XRP. Do we know? Do we care? Do we speculate?
My question is why?
Why?
Why would you go to Solana or DOT or anything else? Um, like we've got the gold and silver. Why would you go down to the minor options? Most of the people that invest in those things want the gold and silver.
They're not interested in copper and
Yeah.
lower value metals. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Well, it's a response rather than a question.
I mean, a good response.
That's just my perception is, these are people that don't want to be necessarily in crypto, but see it as a possible investment opportunity. They don't know the ins and outs of the minor markets and what goes on. They just hear about Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, that occurred to me, especially with Bitcoin's, evolved status as digital gold. You know,
Yeah.
people, retail people hear that and they go, oh, okay, a different form of gold that's way easier to deal with than actual gold, and quite a bit more profitable. So the Ethereum, I've read some information that the Ethereum isn't going to do much for that reason, because like people who've heard of Bitcoin who are interested in ETFs are hearing Ethereum, what's that? Now more people have heard of Ethereum than like you said, Solana and DOT and some of the XRP and the others. But yeah, it'll be curious to see what that does. Remember, the ETFs can market, so they can educate people. They can put ads on CNBC and market these things. That would be one way to profit off that. And the reality is it's just people who don't want to deal with crypto like we do. They don't want to deal with MetaMask and Coinbase and things like that. They just want to go to their reliable financial institution that has the reputation and deal with them. And then the institution is going to charge them like 2% a year to manage, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum like they need management. But anyway, over in the big picture, it helps us, especially for those of us who are holding and swing trading these assets. So it's all good in my view. Okay, anything else before we head over to Altcoin Alert, find some day trades and swing trades? Okay, Altcoin Alert. I am on easy mode. Altcoin radar is selected. I have all the information, all the columns. I'm going to reload. I'm going to go a little out of order because I just made a trade 5 minutes ago. Well, 15 minutes ago on render. So very bullish, 81.3 AA score. That's AA is telling us it's got an 81.3% chance to go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. I'm looking for a bigger move than that. I'm actually swing trading and day trading this at the moment. So I'm going to go to my swing trade first because I really like this setup. I'm on the 30-minute chart. You may want to look at the hour chart as well, but this is my favorite kind of swing trade setup. It's coming out of the green zone. The SuperTrend just printed a buy. The Trendilo LSMA is giving us a green signal, and the red zone, 13% in 2 days. Love it. That's a great day trade if it bounces back. It'll probably take longer. Could be several days or a week or even longer than that, but not financial advice. I like the setup for render. And it's good to go now. So my suggestion would be go in, whatever exchange you like, hold some funds back for additional purchases if necessary. That's what I'm doing with it. On the day trading side, I started with a swing, went to a day trade. I'll show you what happened. It kind of went against me because I made this trade yesterday. And yeah, here's where I got in. Let me bring up my vertical line. So you guys have heard me talk about the RTI, the relative trend index. That's what I use to get in my day trades. And this was one that, as you can see, was below the 20 for quite a while and then broke above in the, say mid-afternoon yesterday. So I took this trade and then it went against me. I took a couple additional positions and I'm still in it. I'm in profit, but it hasn't gotten out yet at my desired goal. So I was just letting you know that, I do trade this stuff, these suggestions that I share with you, and usually profit from them, but sometimes it takes longer than I would like. Yeah, like right now, on render, I'm up about 3%. That's at 10x leverage, so that's just a small percentage. I'm looking to get about 15%, so that's a 1.5% move on the chart at 10x. We'll see if that happens over the weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't happen till later Sunday or Monday. Okay, but if we're starting from the beginning, and I've moved around my usual approach and sequence. Let's look at this from just getting the information from Altcoin Alert. So this is my day trading layout with the RTI and the 15-minute chart. Got my support and resistance using the supply and demand visible range, the RTI as I described earlier. And then in certain situations, I'll look at the cumulative delta for additional confirmation. So I think I'm going to show you another trade that I took this afternoon that looked like that. I took theta that broke above the 50, and actually there was this instance of it. Yeah. So this is another approach I've talked about. We just looked at render when it broke above the 20 yesterday. Well, this is one that broke above the 50. If you attended the CryptNation lifer call yesterday, Bryce was talking about how he likes to get in after something dips and then makes a pretty strong move in the direct, in an upward direction. I get in earlier than he does, but especially on my day trades. But I like this 50 level in a bull market. As you can see, it never did dip below the 20. So it got close, but never made it. But then broke above the 50, so I took that trade. And it's gone mostly sideways, but I've got a little bit of profit going. Actually, that's not the right thing to measure. That would be here. Yeah, so I'm right around breaking even now, but I'm looking for that to break up and pick up my 1.3% times 10x leverage, give or take. So that's, and again, when I did go in, I looked at my cumulative delta. It was trending up, not as strong as I would like. I don't usually take long trades on Friday afternoons, but I thought I would try these. So that's
CJ,
the theta trade I took. Yeah, go ahead.
CJ, yeah, just coming back to what Bryce said, I understand that Bryce is a much longer term swing trader than you are. So, him waiting for a much stronger confirmation fits with his trading style.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for you, a lot of the trade is probably already exhausted by the time he would go in for you,
Well,
because you like a much shorter time frame normally.
yeah,
Would that be correct?
yeah, there's some truth to that. I just wanted to show that, the 15, even the 80, can be a decent entry after a dip. So, and I used Bryce's approach as a comparison. Not perfect, but that was my reasoning, that instead of getting in at this dip down here, which is my preference, you know, I'd rather get in after this breaks the 20. But the 50 can be a good entry as well. I don't think I quite made the 80. But the point is, yeah, if it goes beyond the dip and starts tracking and showing some momentum in a direction, that can be a good entry as well.
Mm.
So you were being more specific, I was being more general. But that's that's okay. However, whatever it takes.
Well, that's different trading styles, and so so what can be a good entry for say Bryce could be
Mm-hmm.
different for you. That's all I'm trying to get at,
Sure,
because
sure.
he plays the long game, whereas
Mm-hmm.
you play a much shorter game.
Right,
That's all I was trying to identify.
right. Understood. Okay. Any questions on the theta render trades we've looked at? I've kind of skipped around, so. Okay, let's go back to Altcoin Alert and see what else we can find. Okay, that was an AA score. Let's look at social activity. We're going to match that up with trading activity. So what people are talking about and what the trading action is. And audio was on fire yesterday and doing well today. Yeah, usually when I see something over, 10, 20%, I think it's played out. Kind of curious about this one, so let's check it out. And this one was going up yesterday when everything else was dropping. So let's reset the chart. And I don't like how this is. Okay. So we're just broke above the 50. It didn't dip below it though, so my alert would not have triggered had I had that alert going. But let's say you do want to trade this. It has dipped from the high of like 26, 27 cents. So there's room to move back up. Lots of room to move 8%. So this might be one to take after it breaks above the 80. It's hard to see. This break above the 80 was this situation. That made a really nice move. And the next time it did that, well, it hasn't. That would be right about there. Dipped and then came back up. Maybe I play it safe with the 50 on this one. So what I want to do is break below the 50 and come back up and get in on that situation. So my alert's going to look like this. Right click on the RTI, add an alert, crossing up on the 50. And you can do this once or leave it on all day. It'll go off every time the situation happens. Most of the time I do this in the morning and I choose this once per bar close. Alert name, this was a social activity sort. Okay, on my notifications, notify on my app on my smartphone, show a pop-up on my computer screen, and play a sound. I usually go with 3 notes reverb, click create. And now my alert is ready. So when this breaks above 50, I'll look at my cumulative delta to see if that, what that does for my confirmation, and then decide accordingly. Okay, any questions on audio? You can look at this as a swing trade as well. So it looks like I'm on the hour. Well, 30 actually. What's the hour look like? About the same. So the next time the super trend triggers, it's probably going to be around here. And 7 or 8%. I'm not loving this entry, but let's go to some larger time frames and see if we can contemplate this as a longer swing trade. Yeah, we do have prior history back here around 31 cents. About the day chart. Yeah, it was up around 34, 35 cents in March. That'd be a long time to wait. If you got in now, you held for a couple months, you'd be looking at potentially 50%. 50% over 90 days, it's not bad. I don't trade like that very often. I like my 10 to 15% of my swing trades. So yeah, I think I like our prior one better, the render that we looked at earlier. But if you want to get in on this one, you can right click on SuperTrend, create an alert, SuperTrend buy, probably just once. And I think this was social activity. And then for a swing trade, I usually do use a different sound. I like the handbell for my swing trades. So the idea is the sell cycle would run out. It's already starting to come back. So that would be the time to potentially get in and check out your Trendilo LSMA, your moving average, to confirm as well. All right, any questions on audio as a swing trade? Okay, looked at audio and render and theta. Let's sort by long-term sentiment, which I've been using for some of my swing trades. I used to use this more for day trading, kind of go back and forth on it. I'm going to match long-term sentiment with the Elder Impulse daily. Yeah, these two. And then I like to use that for swing trades. And I also use it for shorts. And we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, we went through audio already. We already have a match for long-term and Elder Impulse. Doge, Aave, KNC, traded that yesterday. Let's look at Doge. I like to often short Doge, especially on the weekends. So it just did dip below the 80, trending down. Yeah, I like this. I like it a little better probably an hour ago, but it's not that different. Yeah, I think I found my short for the weekend. So I'm going to jump on this one real quick. Thank you for your patience. And boom. All right, so we'll see if that dips a little bit. Give CJ a short trade this weekend. And yeah, I'm just looking for a small move, like 1.5%. So for me, I'd be looking to have it get down around 16 cents. That would be my short play. And if you want to go long on this, you're a Doge fan, or you like to set up a little bit better, it did nicely after it dipped below the 20. I mean, we had that happen. It broke up here, and it got caught up in that Ethereum weirdness on yesterday before taking off. And there's another entry here where it broke below the 20 and came back, and that was obviously better. Yeah, you would have caught this 5% move. And then, you know, out of the three, this is the best entry here. So it's not clear to me which candle would have triggered this, because it might have been this candle, and then you end up going through this dip. Maybe pick up a couple additional trades before catching this move. That could have been a really good trade. And then you get the break up again here before it catches that really nice move. So breaking below the 20s kind of been hit and miss for Doge, but overall profitable. So you can set this alert. And if you want to go both directions, catch it on a short or a long, enter a channel, 80 on top, 20 on the bottom. Once per bar close, leave it on all day. And this is long-term sentiment buy. And the rest is up to you. Or if you're trading spot, or you just want to stay long, crossing up on your 20 or crossing up on 50, because it might dip below the 50 here and come back up. That would be a good entry on a more trend-based trade. Look at your cumulative delta to see if it agrees with you if that happens. Okay, any questions on Doge as a day trade? Okay, as a swing on the 30-minute, it's been kind of choppy, going mostly sideways and down. I would think a sell would have printed in this vicinity, but it hasn't. So the Trendilo just changed to red. We're kind of in the middle here. As a swing, it's not great. About 6%. As a short, as a long, probably about the same. Yeah, about 6% either direction. So we can look at it on a longer time frame. It's just kind of sitting in the middle, trying to eat both directions. 4 hour. There was more room to the downside on the 4 hour. Now we're talking. As a short, 20% on the day. Yeah, kind of a no man's land. Not loving this as a swing trade. So any questions on Doge? Okay. Well, I did get some questions via email. So any questions on what we've looked at on Altcoin Alert before we go to the questions? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and bring those up on email over here on my other screen. Okay, so the question is cumulative volume delta the same that you call cumulative delta? Does not seem to present the same. I may have customized it. It's going to be on this setup here, cumulative delta. Let's see how I came up with this. This was my friend Frank who showed me this one. Okay, I'm using the one by Noop. And let's see if I did any customization to it. I changed the moving average color, probably. I didn't change any inputs. I may have made some of these brighter. Yeah, opacity. I moved over on all of them. I do that in pretty much all my indicators so I can see them and show them to you guys on these Zoom calls. So yeah, make sure you get the one by Noop if you're looking to match what I'm doing. If you want to experiment with other versions of it, that's okay too. Okay, what does SuperTrend show? What are the settings you use? It's a pretty good question. I don't know if I changed anything on SuperTrend other than turning a lot of stuff off. That's the only information I want showing, so I turned some things off. Whoa. Might be looking at Gala. I don't think I did anything with the inputs. And which version am I using? There's a lot of versions of this. And I kind of bounce between the Kivon one and the Everget one. I don't remember which one I'm using, but they're pretty similar. All right, we just had an alert come up on, I think that was Gala. Let's check that out real quick. All right, so that just broke above the 50. There's plenty of room to get up to the red zone. But again, you tend to have lower volume on Friday afternoons and Saturday mornings, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it's not a bad entry on a day trade. I've already got a couple longs going, so I'm not going to take it, but you guys do your own research. Okay. Where do you find the indicator Trendilo? What's it used for? Other settings for it? So I was looking around for a moving average, zero lag, least squares moving average. I don't remember how I found this one. So I don't have a good answer to your question. So trend LSMA, that's where I found it. But if you're not finding, it's this one here. Another option is just to email me and I'll send you this chart. I can share it by copying the link and it'll have this setup on it the exact way you see it. So good question. You stumped me on that. I don't remember where I got this one. But anyway.
CJ, just one technical issue with what you just said, or maybe a technical issue. is that depending on what level of trading view you have, everything that you've got may not necessarily be available if you're
Yeah,
using a high level version, and to do with the number of indicators you're allowed to display, and also some are limited to the higher plans.
right. Craig's talking about that I have the premium plan, as I'm using this pretty much every day. Some people who are learning are going to sort of ease into that on TradingView and buy a less expensive plan, which is going to limit, some of your options on layouts and indicators. So if you can't find, we've talked before, if you can't find the Lux Algo, supply and demand visible range, just look for another free support and resistance. Same thing with an LSMA. If you can't find the one I've got, try to find another one. We're just looking for something that's alert friendly and that's showing us a trend that'll get us a better entry than just throwing darts at the wall or something. So, but thanks for that reminder, Craig. I think you did that last week, and I don't always remember that not everybody has the same tools I do. And that was the next question: supply and demand visible range, Lux Algo. Does this present the shaded resistance support areas? What settings do you use? Where do you find it?
Yeah, that's one that you've got to have the premium account for it to
Okay.
work. Yeah.
So
That's the one with the lines on the side. Is that the one you're talking about?
the red and green that you see.
Yeah, on the right hand side usually.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
well, for me,
that's a
it's on top and the bottom. Yeah, he's asking about this indicator here. So again, if that's a problem with downloading this one, just find another one. Some of these are going to be free, support and resistance, and tinker with them until they look like what you want. I probably did some style changes to this. Maybe not. Yeah. So there's usual multiple indicators to capture the information you're looking to have on your chart. Okay. And yeah, how do I use this? Yeah, you hear me talk about coming out of the green zone, or which is support. So that's where I like to get in on my longs. Breaking out of the red zone, coming back down. That's where I like to get it into my shorts, my short trades, and then obviously I use the red zone pretty frequently on different time charts to determine exits. So, okay. Okay, he says I still have to find the video on how to set up the RTI. Yeah, just go ahead and email me and I'll direct you towards it. But it's pretty simple. Actually, of all the indicators we talked about, this one's probably the easiest. RTI is a relative trend index by Zierman. Just click on that and it should look pretty similar. I should probably actually get on the page that's showing it to this, and then I made some adjustments on it. I think 80 and 20. I either added that or that's the default. And I made these brighter, yeah, as I often do. So yeah, that's how that works.
You must have the premium to find it, because on just the cheapie, I couldn't find it at all.
Okay. Yeah, you might have to use the RSI, but if you want to set up a Zoom call, email me. We'll go over your options and we'll put our heads together, see if we can come up with something that's at least similar if you want to use these layouts.
Okay, doke.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the things we just discussed? Okay, well, seems to be a pretty good stopping time. I will not be doing a Zoom call on Monday. That's Memorial Day in the US. So you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend. If you're watching on the recording, please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help support the channel. Guys, have a good weekend, and I'll see you in a week. Bye.